Welcome to Big Blend Radio's Food, Wine, and Travel Show, where we go across country and travel the world with members of the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association. Let's go. So welcome, everybody. You know, every second Tuesday, we get to go across the country and around the world with the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association, who we call IFWTWA. Easier to say, so you can go to IFWTWA.org. But we get to go to these destinations and find out what's going on so that you know where to go, where to play, where to stay, where to eat, have a good time. And, you know, fall is right here. I mean, it doesn't feel like it depending on where you are. Today, we're in New Orleans. And it feels like we need a little fall weather. So we're going to go to Greenville in South Carolina. It is a beautiful city. And we chatted with Taryn last year. So she's back on the show to give us an update on what's going on in this beautiful destination. And since then, I think last time we recorded, we were in Asheville. Well, Nancy and I had to go and visit Greenville, and it is beautiful, charming. Oh my gosh, they have historic downtowns. They have a historic neighborhoods with these wonderful craftsman houses. I mean, it's just a beautiful parkway. All I can say is go. Welcome, Taryn. How are you doing?
Thank you so much. You did my job for me. I'm done.
Well, it's true. And I mean, you guys are known as being America's friendliest city, and I think everyone was friendly. I have to tell you, the gardens, and it's just, I think when you have residential areas that are taking care of these historic homes and making these beautiful gardens. Can we just put you as a garden destination? Because, can we add that to the big list? Because
I hate
I
to
think
sound
that's a
cliche,
thing.
but yeah, I mean, we put the green in Greenville, right? It's just this
You are.
beautiful place. And I think a lot of even what you said about being one of the friendliest places, I think a lot of it all goes back to this pride for the community. And the residents who live here are so proud to live here. They choose to live here. And I think that's reflected when you're a visitor. You get that feeling that people genuinely love to be here and they take care of the streets, they take care of the gardens. And I mean, I even get feedback all the time that like people tell me they had the nicest Uber driver and he was giving them all the recommendations on where to go. And I always say, like, our people are my best asset. I don't have to do my job once people get to Greenville because all of our people do it for me. They are
Hmm.
just so happy to live here and share their recommendations on where to get a bite to eat, where to get a cup of coffee, where you should go and make sure you check this place out. And that's so genuine that you can't fake that. That really
Mm-mm.
comes off to everyone who visits here.
Well, I also like the way the city is laid out. And everyone, for all those recommendations, just go to visitgreenvillesc.com. Going into Greenville, I love the way it's laid out because you've got like a downtown historic, and then you've got, okay, we need to have, our chain stuff, right? We need to have our box stores. But it seems like that's kind of on the outskirts, but you've kept this charm of the history. You've kind of this quality of life. And then that greenway, where was that? Like there was like this massive park that kind of spanned through. You drive through it almost
Yes.
on roads. Yeah,
So
what? Because that's gorgeous.
when
Yeah.
downtown was redeveloped in the 70s, they had brought in a bunch of consultants. Downtown Greenville was essentially dead. Nobody was going downtown. And they brought in some consultants and said, what do we have to do? Do we need a Ferris wheel like Atlanta? Or,
Mhm.
what do we have to do to attract people? And they came back and their recommendation was you're sitting on your greatest asset and you're driving over it every day and you don't even realize it. And what they had was this 32-acre park and natural waterfalls that were feeding off of the Reedy River that runs through the center of our downtown. And they had built a highway so many years ago right over the park that nobody even knew that this existed. And so they ended up rerouting Main Street essentially and scaling it back so that they could utilize the park space and the waterfalls and uncover those. And that really turned Main Street into the destination that it is now. And so you're driving along this very charming Main Street that was redeveloped with 2 lanes instead of 4. So it's very pedestrian friendly. The sidewalks are massive to accommodate all the foot traffic. And then you come upon this 32-acre park out of nowhere. And it's just this little urban oasis that exists. And with these natural waterfalls that, again, you can't build that. That just had to have
Hmm.
been here all along. And part of that redevelopment process has been very intentional in only bringing those locally owned eateries and those small boutique shops to Main Street. So you really do still get that small town vibe with the big city amenities and keeping some of those big box retailers. We have them all, we need them to live. We all need our Costco
Hmm.
and our Target, but they are not located downtown. So that
Right.
when visitors come to our downtown, they really still feel this true Southern hospitality vibe and kind of that quaint small town feeling, even though we also have some of the largest cultural attractions and amenities that any other major city could compete with in the United States.
Did you just don't feel like a city though?
You don't. You
When
never
you
feel
said
like a
city, I'm like, what?
city until you're dining in one of Esquire magazine's best new restaurants or in all these James Beard
Yeah.
restaurants, and you're catching, the Lion King at the Peace Center because they bring in, some of the top performing Broadway shows. They bring in one a month. And so every once in a while, you're grateful that you have all of these big city amenities, but you never actually feel like you're living in a big city because you're not necessarily dealing with those big city headaches.
But you also have an amphitheater. I have friends that go, they drive from Asheville all the time to Greenville just to go see music concerts
We
in
are
an amphitheater.
becoming this music destination. We have a lot of major projects in the works right now, and all of them are focused on the entertainment industry. And so over the next 5 years, you are going to see Greenville really grow as a destination when it comes to music and live entertainment. And it's been a slow process to this point, and then all of a sudden we sort of hit the accelerator to really develop some venues that can bring in some broader names and larger audiences, including, I mean, the amphitheater has become a destination for some of these larger names. We have a country music festival now every year that draws in huge name acts. And, our big indoor entertainment venue is one of the best performing venues in the country, like top 20 performing in the country. So, when these artists come through Greenville, they know they're going to essentially sell out. It's
Wow.
it's part of that is our proximity. We're very nicely located, 2 hours from Atlanta, an hour and a half from Charlotte. And then you've got a lot of kind
Mm.
of mid-sized destinations that are 3 hours away, like Charleston and Knoxville. And so it's really easy to get here. And so we do attract people from all over just because
Mm.
it's really easy to get here. And then once you get here, you kind of want to stay a while.
Yeah, I mean, I just was like, as soon as we got there, it was like just relaxing just to walk the streets. That sounds bad. But you know what I mean? To walk, it was just such a,
It's
just,
pleasant. It's really pleasant,
yeah,
right? You don't
you
feel
want to
like you're in a
walk.
rush. You don't feel like you're looking over
Yeah.
your shoulder. You kind of just want to linger a little longer.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, cities are, when we hear the word city, right now I'm in a city and it is city, you know, and I always go like, okay, we go to places like Greenville and it's like, okay, this is a big town and everyone's friendly. They don't have that city vibe, that city rush, rush, rush. And I think having that, urban oasis, that park with the waterfall calms everything. And you're in South Carolina, so the food is good, everybody, y'all, I can say that. But you do have four seasons, which is pretty awesome because fall is coming and everybody, if you just go to the website, visit greenvillesc.com, you'll see what I'm talking about. Your fall colors, I mean, you go from green to true fall colors, and I don't think people will know, like, we just don't think of South Carolina with fall colors that much,
Absolutely. I
but you
think a
do have
lot of
them.
people, when you say South Carolina, especially when they're not from the Southeast region, you immediately think about the beach destinations or golfing. And people kind of don't realize Greenville is located in the northwest corner of the state. So we're very close to Asheville, North Carolina, and what that means the Blue Ridge Mountains. So we are literally at the foothills, and you can drive 45 minutes from Greenville and be on the Blue Ridge Parkway. And so we get all of that sort of trickle down, and the foliage here is constantly ranked among some of the top in the country because it truly is spectacular. And I say this as a girl from New England. And that was one of the
Mm.
things that I thought I would miss the most moving down here because I didn't realize that we would just get this spectacular foliage.
Mm. So do you guys go, yeah, it's fall, y'all, and let's have a party? I mean,
Oh,
things that you
absolutely. We're all pumpkin spice latte, fall y'all pillows are everywhere around the house. But yeah, I mean, it really, I mean, there's a festival pretty much every weekend here throughout the fall season, just singing falls praises because we love it down here. I mean, and it is
mm,
the weather is still spectacular. You'll often see 30-degree temperature swings over the course of the day. So
wow.
that's the only thing that's hard to plan for. Your mornings will start crisp.
Layers, everybody. That's what fall's about, layers.
Yep, it is. It is. I learned what a short sleeve sweater was for when we moved here. I never understood short sleeve sweaters when I lived in the Northeast because it was never just seasonally appropriate. But down here, it makes complete sense now to me.
It's so funny because, I used to, back in the day, like like dads would wear the wife beater things underneath their shirts. I'm
Yep.
sorry, I don't know what to call them.
Yep.
Those
Yep.
little
Yep.
vest things.
Yep.
And I was like, oh my gosh, people did that. And now I know why.
Yep.
And it's interesting because I wonder now I'm starting to think who did that where? Was it and was it a season or was that, I saw something yesterday that kind of like gave me the giggles because
Yeah.
like who, what, and where and why. And I think, people knew back then. It's like, okay, fall's coming. I can wear this under my shirt and get away with it because I'm a man.
Yep.
But you know what I mean? But you're talking about sweaters, like, yeah, short sleeve shirt sweaters. Like this gives us a whole reason to go shopping.
It does. It
See?
does. And that's,
See?
it's funny. I
Segue.
remember one of the first years that we were down here and Christmas morning, I opened my front door and I was in a t-shirt. And so it definitely, you never know what you're going to get. We can have really, really mild days and then, we can have some cold fronts that come through too. And once every 2 years or so, we'll get a couple inches of snow, which is great. The kids get really excited about that because they don't see snow very often down here. But then it melts within a day or two, so it's not something that sticks around very long. But to your point, we get 4 seasons, so
Yeah.
it's
But
really
nice ones,
yeah,
right?
exactly. We get the best of kind of all situations.
Yeah, South, the South in summer is a little warm, but you can deal with that. When it's the blizzardy stuff, no, none of us want to
Yep,
deal with
yep.
that.
We definitely don't have that here. So
Yeah, I think I listen. I just did that between our conversation last year and now. I did that, and I don't want to ever do that again. I
yep,
don't. I do
yep.
not want to play ice storms ever again in my life. And so, like, go to South Carolina. You won't deal with that. But there's four seasons. But do you have? I want to go into shopping because, and I want to talk about events. I have so much to talk about with you because Greenville has so much. But when you think about Four Seasons, this does bring on different kind of flavor of events and festivals. Do you have main festivals per season at all, or do they just are like, hey, year round?
We
Because it seems like
definitely
you have a
have
lot of art going on too.
We do. We have a lot of signature events throughout the year. Every May we have this festival called Artisphere, and basically our main street becomes a giant art gallery for the weekend. And
Ooh,
140 plus artists are juried to get into this festival. They
wow.
represent all kinds of different mediums, everything from oil painting to jewelry. And they get to set up pop-up galleries on our main street, and you just get to walk through all of the different artist booths that they've come in from all over the country. It's an extremely successful festival for the artists. People come to buy art at this festival. And then in our fall season, we have two signature events. We have Euphoria, which is sort of our premier food, wine, and music festival, where we bring in Michelin-starred chefs and we pair them with the best of our local restaurants, and it's just a great culinary weekend that celebrates some of the top chefs in the culinary world today. And then we also have Fall for Greenville, which is a bit more of like a taste of our town, where again Main Street shuts down and there are about 60, 65 food vendors from local eateries that set up kind of pop-up restaurants on our main street.
Cool.
And you walk through all those, and they do smaller plate versions of some of their signatures. So the average dish costs like $6. And then there are more than 80 concerts that go on over the course of that weekend, and every concert's free to attend. And a lot of times it's like the cool emerging talent that you might not have heard of yet, but about 3 years from now, they'll be all over the radio. So that's a fun festival too, with 150,000 of your closest friends. So that's a big one for us as well. But I mean, we have a big winter season, with the holidays. We go over the top. It looks like a Hallmark Christmas card here. I mean, it really just is that picture perfect holiday feeling if you come over the holiday season down here. We've got an outdoor
Mm.
ice skating rink that opens every year, and we've got a lot of our hotels have all kinds of unique experiences, everything from like a Home Alone package that you can go and have a very similar experience to Kevin McAllister, um, hitting up all of the local Greenville shops and having your pizza in a limo and then spending the night at this beautiful Four Diamond Hotel. Or you can check out the gingerbread exhibit that's over at another one of our hotels. So there's a lot going on. Pretty much we say whenever you want to come, there's probably an event going on. There's just always something to do in Greenville.
Yeah, the events are cool. And the shopping I want to get to as well, because I think number one, events are a good place to go and buy gifts and things for your home. And, we all know we talk about the box stores, being on the outskirts of the town, right? And um, we all know those online places that we all shop from, and they come to your door, but you're not going into a business and getting to touch or feel or see or have a conversation with someone. So the events are really cool because you're going to meet artisans, right? And that kind of thing. So you're going to get something unique. So with the holiday season coming, I'm saying when it's fall, y'all, um, it's 2 months away. It starts. Really, Taryn? It is. It's coming.
I
And you
know.
might as well get started now. Just keep it easy and have fun with it instead of it being that crazy Black Friday thing that people do. Um, how about go into a downtown, make a weekend out of it, have fun, keep it leisurely, right? And go into a store and when you see something that calls out about your friend or family or loved one, then oh, this is something different. It's not something that you're always going to get on the big online box stores, right? So
Exactly.
it's
I
going to
mean,
be
we have
something unique.
so many of these great local shops. We've got everything from an independent bookstore on our main street that curates a lot of like regional authors and cookbooks.
Oh, cool.
We've got, the Greenville Soy Candle Company. You can actually go and create your own custom candle or find like the perfect scent for somebody. Just
Ooh, that's cool.
we have the oil and vinegar shop where you can go in, and Chef Vera knows how to pair everything with anything. And she comes up with some of the craziest combinations that you wouldn't think would taste good. And then you taste them and it becomes your new favorite. And so I think that's the fun thing. If you came up with a list of everyone you needed to shop for, you could probably check off every single person at a different shop along our main street. Just everything from home decor to fashion, all the men's bow ties. We've got the fancy men's retail.
Whoa.
Everything that you could possibly need, you would find.
And clothes shopping, I mean, it's changed, hasn't it? It's just even thinking about going. I mean, and we've got a lot of stores that are like upcycle shops and things like that. Do you have that too?
We do. Oh, we have a lot of really great secondhand stores. Every time I go in to bring in some of my own clothes, I wind up buying somebody else's clothes. So I never actually make any money
It's like
because
going in your best friend's closet.
it is. And I'll tell you what, some of the ladies in the handbags that they're bringing in, yeah, I'll tell you what, I know exactly where to go.
Ooh, call Sharon, everybody. I want to also go like so lodging wise. Okay, so on if you go everybody goes to visit greenvillesc.com, like you go to under places to stay. So you've got like downtown hotels, you've got inns, bed and breakfast, hostels, campgrounds, cabins, pet-friendly lodging. So are you a pet-friendly city? Like
Oh,
can
very
people
much.
walk
I
their
think
dogs?
some people would argue we like dogs more than we like people here, but yeah,
Oh,
we
cool.
literally have experiences for dogs all over the city. So many of our restaurants welcome them. They will all put out bowls of water on a hot day, and just kind of make sure that the dogs are taken care of. But yeah, we love dogs in Greenville. We have a lot of dog parks. A lot of our breweries, welcome them. And we do have a couple of hotels that are very specifically pet friendly and welcome them as well. So we are happy to have the pets join too.
That's so cool. So people can, well, we went there to hang out with the dog too, but also because you told us to go. And by the time we were done on our last conversation, I was like, okay, we got to go. But what would you say it seems like there's something for everyone, but the campgrounds and cabins, can you tell us a little bit about that for our nature lovers, especially with fall coming, and then for people looking at getting away in winter even, it may be cold. in
Yeah,
your area,
it is. I
but
mean, we
you
have some
know,
great campgrounds that are on, Highway 25, basically heading up to Asheville, right outside of Greenville, it's downtown. So
hmm
again,
yeah.
great location, especially if you're thinking about you want to come down and do the fall season in the Blue Ridge Parkway. That's a perfect place to be able to stay and kind of just hop up to the Blue Ridge Parkway for the day and then hop down and have dinner in downtown Greenville at night. And so yeah, I mean, essentially wherever you would want to stay. We opened a place just recently called Wild Stay, where you're basically camping out there with baby cows. And so
Wow.
we've got essentially something for everyone. We've got some of these more remote locations that really immerse you in nature. We've got a couple of those. We have Hotel Hartness that's over kind of on the east side of Greenville. It was just ranked the top resort in South Carolina by Travel and Leisure. And then we have Hotel Domestique out in Travelers Rest that was started by George Hincapie, the pro cycler who cycled 17 times in the Tour de France. So really just whatever your style is, or if you're a Marriott Bonvoy lover, then we've got those places too. So
Cool.
we can kind of meet anyone's needs of what they're looking for when it comes to accommodations.
Oh, so do you get a lot of groups, like corporate groups and weddings and things like that, like like
We
family
have
reunions?
a lot of group travel, whether it's leisure or business. That is a big area for us in Greenville. The wedding industry has just kind of exploded here for destination weddings. And it's just it's again, like you said, it's that picture perfect moment, right? And what bride doesn't want that picture perfect moment on her wedding day? And so
That waterfall.
that it, I mean,
Yeah.
right? That downtown, that moment, we've had brides that hop on the free trolley to grab that perfect photograph. It's there are so many great moments in Greenville and just these beautiful memories that you'll have here, no matter where you are. And I think
Mm.
that's why people really fall in love with it.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful place and it's just easy to navigate too. And just, I think that park, the way the park runs through it, it's like a river runs through it, right?
Yep.
It's true. It's true. It's so beautiful. And like you're saying, so easy to get to. We see Greenville on the highway all the time. I know we talked about that last time, but it's really true. Turn, get off the highway.
Yep. It is
And
definitely worth the turn. Yeah.
yeah, we need to do more when we come back through, which we will, because we will, because it's beautiful. So everyone go check it out, go to the main street, have fun, have good food. I do want to hear like what is your like perfect fall escape for you? If you no work, you're not allowed to work for a day. What are you going to do? Other than, we all want to have our Netflix time, but I mean like a fall day out with friends, family, loved ones in Greenville, what would you do?
I would probably start at Southern Press Juicery and grab one of their lattes. I really like their lattes, and they don't have any dairy milk in any of them, so I never have to really worry about anything there. And get
Nice.
they always kind of do different seasonal ones. I would take that to go and just walk down Main Street because Main Street in the mornings is just very quiet. There's not too much traffic or noise. And it's just this great little walk. And you walk about a half a mile and you would get to Falls Park and just go walk through the park and you'll see people running, you'll see people biking, you'll see people walking their dogs and just, stop and take a moment and take in the waterfalls, cross the Liberty Bridge, which goes right over the waterfalls. It's a pedestrian bridge that was designed to have the most optimal viewing of the waterfall. So it's a curved bridge. It's the only one of its kind in the United States. And then I like to just go into the Grand Bohemian Hotel. It's sitting at the other end of the bridge, and it is just the most magnificent five-star hotel that I've ever been in myself. It looks like this stunning mountain lodge, and they have an art gallery inside, and it's just
Mm.
beautiful. This gorgeous fireplace is always lit that greets you when you walk in the front door. And so I love to just walk through there and feel fancy for a moment. And then, we've got so many nearby you pick experiences. And for me, if I have a little bit of quiet time, I love going out into some of the farms. And so we've got a place called Sassafras Flower Farm where you can pick your own flowers. And I love to do flower arranging. Just down the road, we've got a few places where you can cut your pumpkin off the vine or go apple picking. And so I think that my favorite thing about living here is how close everything is. You
Mm,
have so many great things to do. And, our small towns are so charming, and each one of them kind of has their own character and their own vibe going on, whether it's Travelers Rest or Greer or Simpsonville or Fountain Inn. They all have a reason that you would want to go there too. Um,
mm,
so picking one of those little smaller towns to kind of go spend a day, because again, they're just quiet and they have that little charm, and go visit one of the local eateries or one of the breweries at one of those, and just
mm.
kind of enjoy it and take it all in. And then when it comes to dinner, my goodness, there are more than 1,000 options truly in the county that you can choose from, and 200 alone on our main street. And so it's really,
Wow.
I always say to people, just what are you in the mood for? Because that's the best place that I can start, because my top 10 list changes depending on what's your favorite type of cuisine. What
Wow.
are you in the mood for? Do you want the views? Do you want the ambiance? Do you want, French? Do you want Italian? Do you want sushi? Do you want street food? What is it that you want? And that's where we can start. So,
Well, what about South Carolina food? What would you say would be South Carolinian for those who
well,
don't
this
live
is
in
a
the
great
area?
question. This is so funny. So, I have been lucky enough to be working with Visit Greenville SC for almost 15 years now.
Wow,
And
nice.
most people, again, when they think of South Carolina, they think shrimp and grits and barbecue, and a lot of the kind of cuisines that Charleston has become known for, or Hilton Head from a seafood standpoint. And Greenville's kind of different. Again, our location makes us a little bit different. And as we sat and kind of pondered this, we realized we were sitting on this little gem all along. So Greenville is actually the birthplace of Duke's mayonnaise. And in the South, if you ask
Hmm.
any chef what their favorite condiment is, there is a 99.9% chance they're going to tell you Duke's mayonnaise. It just has this
I've
cult.
had it. I've had Duke's mayonnaise.
People
Yes,
love
every
this condiment. Like,
it's
I know
it's in
people
the
that have,
Carolinas, both
yes,
states.
I know
Everyone has it
somebody
in their
from North
fridge.
Carolina that has a Duke's mayonnaise tattoo. Like, he is that in
Seriously.
love
Ha!
with a
That's
condiment
cool.
that he went out and got a tattoo of it. But there is this obsessive following for Dukes. And Greenville was
I
born
did
here by a
not know
female
that.
entrepreneur back in World War One. And
Go
so
girl.
we decided we want to be known as the place where Duke's mayonnaise came to life. And so we created a Duke's mayonnaise guide to Greenville. It's Eugenia's unofficial guide because she is no longer alive, so we couldn't make it her official guide. But we kind of gave this opportunity to all of our local restaurants to say, tell us your favorite dish on the menu that features Duke's, and we're going to create a food trail. So for us,
Cool.
that's what we're claiming as ours. So if you come to Greenville and you eat nothing else, I hope you find somewhere that has something with Duke's mayonnaise. And we've got the trail on the visitgreenvillesc.com
Oh
website.
my gosh. I had no idea because like everyone, th- everybody I know in the Carolinas, and I'm going to go even through to Georgia because you're not that far.
Yeah.
I think they all have Dukes. And I'm like, who's Dukes?
Yep.
Like, I always was like, oh, all right, that must be something local and never thought further. And now I'm like, dude, we gotta support the Dukes.
Yep.
Like, that's really cool. So was that her last name? Eugene Dukes? What
Eugenia Duke. Yep. And so
Eugenia Duke.
she started making sandwiches for the soldiers that were at Camp Sevier in World War One. And
Wow.
everybody loved these sandwiches that she was making. And they eventually that led to her bottling what she was using as sort of the glue that held the sandwich together, which was Duke's mayonnaise. And so, yeah, the
Oh, I
company
love
that
this.
manufactures it is still located here in Malden, which is right outside of Greenville. And so, we're really proud of that story. And we thought we've been sitting on this all along and didn't even realize what our culinary story is. So,
Okay, and then you've got what's the bread that comes south of you? Nature's Own. Is it Nature's Own?
are they
You've got the
located near here?
yeah, they're in Georgia.
I
So
didn't know that.
they're
Yeah.
in Thomasville, Georgia. They come from, that's where it is. I've seen the train that goes back and forth in the
Yeah.
town. So I'm like, Duke's needs to get with the bread, right? Because now it's all there. And
Yep.
then you go up into North Carolina, you can get Krispy Kremes. So
Yeah.
like there's this food thing going on. I'm just saying, I'm
Yep.
I'm gonna have to do, oh boy, I'm gonna have to go around the country again. I mean that's what we do, but I kind of feel like this food map has to happen because
Yep.
but you've got bread on the other side of the border. I think you guys need to be friends. You know, I'm just saying, like it should be that, something has to happen with the bread and the mayonnaise, but
Well, Nature's Own, if
mayonnaise,
you're listening, call me.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm gonna call him. I'm like, this has to happen because I mean, everybody I know in the South also supports that bread. So I'm
Yep.
like, listen, we want some serious good sandwich recipes. Do not underestimate the power of a good sandwich. There's nothing like it. It's very important in our lives. So, oh my gosh, now you've got me off in a rabbit hole. Thank you. And I'm hungry. So I would like a really good sandwich right now. I know it's not even the time for it, but I want one. Thank you. Thank you, Taryn. This is great. Oh my gosh, I love that story. I really do. So now, everyone, I know we always do tourism on this show, but this podcast is also have to be featured on our Women Making History show because we love women who make history, especially when mayonnaise is concerned. Thanks so much, Taryn. Everyone, visit greenvillesc.com is the website to go to. Thank you. Thank you for listening to Big Blend Radio's Food, Wine, and Travel Show featuring members of the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association. We encourage you to visit their website. We say IFWTWA, which is IFWTWA.org. You can also follow us at bigblendradio.com. Happy travels, everyone.